perfect design. From amongst where we to live, our experience is the value that is defended and maintained. Consciousness itself, a laboratory or the completion of life. We are not experimental, we are advanced and profound. Stan, I love how round your head is. It's beautiful. We are on clockwork. Let's put on our thinking caps, armor up in your wizard suit. Your identity is self evident, but to identify with that character is the appropriate handshake. Brings us to the preparation, the physics that we need to encounter the universe. This graphics is a technology in and of itself, existing as a beacon for our orientation. We have not the easy excuses of our ancestors who lived by the bread of nature is the good foundation for our encounter today. Perfect design. Giraffe, huge lightning bolt initiates the perfect design inauguration for our identity to prevail. South Park, align, civil defenses gearing perfectly. Collaboration, Trey and Hatch. A colossal of characters, the ingenuity of America working together, finding a closing argument. Let's complete the brainstorming segment of our work and project, get to the point where we're actually working together. Behind Randy Marsh, a great group of characters exists, like the cape of the sorcerer Trey Parker. And the spirit comes down, and Hatch comes down like this. In his wake is this heavens and the characters of his fold as they approach one another. It gets more and more intense, like the sort of like the physics of engineering a jet stream. We have to become lucid and enlightened about our daylight meditation. Oh, good, I'm awake. Let's get to work. Let's change America for the better. I hear a crying child. You know, it's a particular curve of language. We understand Greta and the Friday Kids now in retrospect to all these angel corpses. Bad evidence is not to be excited about, but if you're a true professional and master of your orientation, you understand that what's natural is being processed on these many different levels. By the mistreatment of our people, or the mistreatment of, or the extinction of our children's opportunity with Earth and with the universe. Let's not let's not provide blindness. Let's live in the fullness, right? And it's to parent these children. That's very powerful. And in those pockets, that's where comedy lives, right? We are doing that sort of societal work. And it's very much Trey Parker who, as a true mystery of the universe, discovered these things on his own. Trey has his own invention of everything, right? It's in his identity, and that's important. So the earth, in his dream of stone clockwork meditation, aligned the wear map just so, and brought me in this way. And it was profound because it was like the award or a surprise party for me, because all my instincts had been confirmed in this way that, yes, I do listen to the earth properly. That's why I sent Trey the silver violin. That was all instinct. But then I have confirmation from the map. I was like, oh, the wizardom. And it's this time of when we need to glean the silver lining of Junctine and then prove the resilient robot logician that is the human, who can profound to the level of the Enlightenment, acknowledging that not all things are a mere repackaging of the orgasmic experience. Not everything is just a prelude or a mentioning of sex. But we need to understand the language of animals and creatures when the biggest word in their life that they ever spoke was an orgasm. So it's understandable why that's there as a social structure. But for us to truly complete the task of an intellectual is to rise above that and realize that there are things that we can reach the dimensional climb of our storytelling and our narrative path to access and cause things that would not exist otherwise and exist as the evidence and light, scaffolding, the anchors, the identity, the intellectual design or permanent gains, different types of immortality working together as wizards. But it is vital that the Green Wolf robot be comprehended as an intellectual design and perfect design in all of its rigging. And the input is welcome, but not where the engine starts to repeat and it's only like making people pissed off, like, oh wow, it's like that's abusive, and I'm like, oh, so and so, this is from so so. So it's not like it's not that that's why I'm the professional of the moral mainframe of the Green Wolf robot toy. In fact, it has an aluminum skeleton when it's a toy. We want this to get developed and available before Christmas 2021. So actually, we need to kind of be on board with the schedule here. But if we want to be real entrepreneurs of 2021, real powerhouse here, I think we can see that we can work together. I'm looking for that closure of like, let's get that green light, let's go. So let's put on our thinking caps. We're talking about raising billions of children, getting them away from the dangers that we know about. Trey and his group, making jokes, haha, UFOs, da, 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 but then here it comes. And what I'm seeing as a collider, like the intelligent vine that is not just mentionings about bliss and orgasms over and over, the civil work of poor people or creatures, right? But rising above that, being like, oh, wait, we can. So the epiphany of removing the thorn from the side of the earth is a vital mechanical heart. Then the earth is like boom, boom, boom. Oh, what? And earth comes to life and is able to perform like starlight meditations with the humans without the danger of filtrating a supremacy. It's like for the tricks are for kids. So we're the kids, and we can like make this. We can build it because we have the physics of we have the right orientation to win the battle. And it's the evidence is that the spiritual battle is so bad that even the church fell over. Oh no, the church, no. But it actually takes incarnation, it takes a man's girth to plow things. Oh, nightmares, God damn it. Plowing through a lot. We do a lot of work with our body. And it's good work, right? We're in the best shape of our lives to be truly relevant, comedic, and cutting edge, state of the art, progressive. That's our friendship, Hatch and Trey, working together, making this happen. Have you guessed what car I am going to be using for the electric self-driving car? As some of you might have guessed, yeah, it is a Tesla, the newest Tesla. And this would be a sort of thing where, as I'm working with South Park on the special, but if Trey sees a thing where he's like, oh, I'm actually ready to do an episode with you right now, let's go ahead and do it. Greenlight it, please. Understand my urgency. But if you guys have the time and the experience, if you're a master and you're like, oh, I understand we need to have the Green Wolf robot toy in time and that means like we need to have the episode here, and then it we're so it's there is a schedule of this year about whether or not we have time for Hatch to go on this sort of road trip romance with America, but it will be unlike any other type of cyberpunk revolution media experiential because my descriptions of Millie the Outlaw, how the princess is handled in these sci-fi things. Well, Millie becomes like a centerpiece of my company. It's like Millie's department and Millie's this and Millie's over there, and it's an amazing resource for women, and there's like a bunch of witchcraft, you for the future. But I'm okay. The universe is vast. For me, it would be so the romance of my encounter with America. If you guys want to produce my idol and be like, let's help him have celebrity in this new way, 2021, everyone's stuck at home, have this sort of road trip sci-fi epic, and it leads to this, pan epic between Hatch and Trey playing a board game. You guys, you understand you're the hero of the stage, and you need to maneuver the shadows of your mind. I'm able to shift gears between talking about navigating the human experience and watch out for the list of problems that was my career as an adult through the 90s and the 2000s. Deadlights Rose was a real event that was visual. Because it was visual, it impacts our waking state. And so the Deadlights Rose might be the only significant phenomenon that I might report to you as something that you should take into consideration. And this might be why, my video on it, when I used a tape recorder to augment my voice to complicate the recording enough to make some sort of advances. In that video, I wonder if Trey had seen that. That would be a miracle of our American societal identity, who we are, and a triumph of communication for the sharpening of our physics mutually. We are here to work together as family and improve one another's existence. I made blunders when I was a child because I was oppressed because I was different, not because of what I had done, but I simply was a different identity, and I had it's sort of like there's this different communication about that, and I'm not a victim. I wouldn't rather be anyone else. I'm really happy with my life. I'm really excited to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm really proud to be your friend. South Park groups and you guys. I have some exciting news this morning. I woke up. I'm really am looking for that green light. Like I'm ready to go because I was looking at the schedule and I'm like, okay, if we're doing a film project on the road, it's like a couple months. Okay, and then and then it's like, okay, then we do the collaboration with. There is enough time for it, but this is like a schedule where you're like, oh wait, we need to get that like art piece, the Green Wolf robot art piece as a toy. It needs to be prepared so that people can order it before Christmas, before the rush. Because I don't want to be the a-hole who's like, oh, sorry, your toys couldn't arrive on Christmas. Blame it on the postal system. We've been working on this for years, Trey and I. Right. So I have some exciting news this morning. The Earth was talking to me about you have a real friend in Trey, and he's really is your friend. And can't you sense his I feel that Trey has become a greater wizard, and that intensity is what's needed. That's the blades that's being sharpened for the battle that's ahead. 2021 is a holy war. We're fighting for the intellectual property of children. And when we get into that language, we're going to find a whole new vocabulary of comedy and the understanding where the Green Wolf robot is the physical equipment that they need that jettisons from the dimension of construction paper. So we're talking about handmade technology and a path of the ascension of human identity as relating to technology, robots, AI. When we have our own identity, we can have a conversation to navigate bad uh, contact and invasion away. It just happens to be the sort of like a phenomenon that they think that they understand more than we do, as if we're not designed to be residents of Earth. That's not the case. And the evidence is the Batman, the Handmaid stuff, the Simpsons. I'm on your guys' side working for your case. And it's basically universe madness or the decay of self as when things go wrong is like, oh, so let's be the adults and okay, pull up, all right, round it out, whew, and install the device so that we understand and we're seeing the truth and we're making installations about survival and doing better for ourselves and everyone else. And I understand it's like, you know, if you're an ancient form of madness, I'm not going to be treating you as if you're a child. Okay, that wouldn't be appropriate. But so it's actually those lines can be drawn in the existence fabric. You just need to commit your will to doing that. And what humanity has been looking like is someone who's speaking in tongues, and that's butter because it could be interpreted like this, but it's not their blame because Jesus Christ was supposed to forgive those guys and perform this lattice. But because the honey glow of the event, myself and other wizards, we were actually attacked for our unique light signatures, like, oh, humans aren't supposed to have that type of soul. And so it was forbidden. So I'm leading the sort of revolution that's actual real, but then it's going to, you lead with the head and the body follows, right? So we do some real, but it's not that we can't lean on some ethereal concept because between each individual, they have a different set of ethereal concepts. So I'm saying that we have to do practical things. We need to build it with our hands. And that's why I have some good news this morning because I was talking with the earth and they said, you have to count your friends. And Trey Parker is one of them. And I said, I understand. And so Earth and I have decided that the location on the Where map on the Ding Dong is one of the places where we're going to be building and hoping to develop part of the company that I'm projecting on or building up into the future. It is a resource. It is. I think the story is great. I love this idea about another people thinking about like maps as like, oh, it has a ghost. Of course, it's a physical set of things, map language, and the same can be said about construction paper. So Trey is actually a triple crowned wizard in languages that are like all this, and they have a hard time affecting your physical feeling because that's not their battlefront. They're sort of new, fragile children, and Trey is just like, oh, stay in the safe place, stay in my identity safe zone, and that's natural, and that's there, so they're okay. What I'm saying is like Trey, man to man, I'm telling you, watch out for sad, anxiety and causing creatures that are trying to confuse the natural, or like, oh, this is the result of hatch is that you feel depressed. But that's with if you have spiritual mastery, use your full intuition, you understand that hatch doesn't want to hagger or injure you. So any types of like, you feel sad because we didn't make the friendship happen before, but if you gotta survive your own drink, right? If you gotta survive your poison, you guys need to not be offended by your own jokes. I'm okay. You're okay. Let's make something good for these kids. Because we have the equipment, we have the time, we have the resource. Let's make something awesome for these kids. And I'm excited to work with you guys. Seriously. All right. I'm super excited, you guys. So it's just a matter of scheduling. If Trey feels that I do want to like release the doves of Hatch's idle exposure, and I think the best way is for him to narrate this discovery process with the cyber world of VR in cars. It sounds delicious. It could be a real wonderful piece, and to have a team that splits up the media and is posting it simultaneously on multiple fronts. Oh my gosh, it's like the way to do business 2021. We lead from that right into a special on South Park. Boom, we bring it around. with the Green Wolf robot toy in 2021 Christmas. We're just about comprehending a full mastery of defending Earth, perfecting our lifetime, giving the kids the full equipment that they need. Everything will be set and okay, and everything's. You lead with the head, the body follows. Then society will come back to place, come back into focus, and institutions like South Park, like The Simpsons and Batman will have Trey to thank as a masterful wizard who fought and worked hard on himself and the industry, and worked hard to sing beautiful songs. Okay, that's important that those works get awarded whilst we live. And I'm saying that the wear map is an indication that Earth had a vision where he wants to keep us and maintain like this sort of language of these different languages overlapping. I have a great orientation, but I also, there are many accents of the humans that don't allow them to hear or to communicate about some of the principles with the arm of Cape Cod and the Mandelbrot fractal. Like humans have a speech impediment, like that. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that. If I do, I might get like shadow hacked by anxiety. I'm like, yeah, but we're in the heat of it. Like you saw the church fall. We should have their back, right? So there's a lot of Christians like, oh, and they, we're in this together for real. But I'm talking about using equipment and words that goes right to the problem, is the doctor that removes the problem and employs the child, and all of a sudden the kids inflate it and they do their own thing, and the kids just laugh and play, and that actually is going to drive back all problems. No asteroid collision, no invasion. Okay, that's how we do it. But it's a global thing. You have to consider this whole thing. It's awesome being an American because we have free speech. We're right at the like, this is the flux of like why America has free speech, you guys, seriously. Right? So we have to perfect our orientation in science and history in reality, right? Because time continues and gets better and better. But we're at this sort of early point when we cast this light, and it causes a tremendous amount in the future. So now, here now, all right, we got the wizard circle, you guys. This is exciting. Let's put some investment into our soul. We're going to plant those perfect seeds that we're going to need as a fruition for our future self times a million. And we're just breathing that fire, that energy of our own preparation, what we need into the future, so that we don't get, um, you know, tracers and decay, and as if that was the survival of the refinement of how tough nature is. No, that's like a false nature grid where they're actually molesting the development of our AI and robots because they think that they're sequestering their conquerorship of Earth and the universe. But I'm saying no to that. I'm saying that that would be a disaster. But I'm saying like, this is a language that if we have no like, oh, let's have zero reaction to the gatekeeper, things would get very bad. That's what the world is explaining with this epidemic of the pandemic. But it's Earth imploring Trey and Hatch to be the wizard. No, don't go off into, some sort of. Because I was gonna make a little gamer startup, like, oh, maybe I'll just talk with people, and Earth was like, no, no, I need you to be the. I need you to come on now. All right, so we plant these million seeds into our own future, and we can feel the wisdom increasing. Oh, you're right. You have to take a break sometimes and make that investment in yourself. That's what's so good about Hatch. And when he's out driving the VR car, it's exactly the type of meditation he's going to be leading people through. It's going to be so sweet. Put some music on it and edit it down and make it roll real sweet. I'm looking for that type of friend with you guys. You understand we're building something, and we can't stop trying and doing our best. And I think that this is the best. And I'm concerned about the schedule. Do we have enough time to get this toy made before, like, well before Christmas? Okay, because we're not. Okay, it's a Destiny piece, and I love South Park for a completely singular, different reason. Because of the wear map, and because like Earth was saying, like, no, these wizards, they'll get it. Like, you got to tell them this is it. Boom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. And Earth was like, yeah, I'm just hanging in there. Mm-hmm. So we have to be kind of the kings of the garden and be like, hey, we're Americans. Rah! I'm excited, you guys, and I'm glad to be your friend. Thank you so much, Trey. I know you've done a lot of work on this project. It's worth it. And it's just going to get more and more. And a friendship with Hatch is wealthy. I'm going to give you guys all kinds of amazing things that just can't happen any other way. It's actually the vitals that makes the earth and the humanity survive, and then the identity is the privileged one, and then the universe has a stable form of self. Okay, we need to fight for the identity and not give in to like forms of vorpal depression. What? That's not a reflection of me. You're attacking me because you don't want me to feed children. And there's a very vast difference. Just like old shit that's become the humbug of sneezing. It's just sickness, like an irritation spirit, and you're just like, why, you know, no. So a professional like me would be like, like install like a little filter that goes, and has an auto turret to remove those types of irritations. Um, but what I found is that sometimes people get even more triggered by me because they have this sort of a flare up with their condition, and they're like, the Jesus, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like an ancient trauma of Mars and Venus and the Orange Planet, an ancient thing, and these guys are their karma is all wrapped up in it. We need to be like, okay, no, my kid's better than this. It's not for you guys. You guys are done. Right, and let these kids grow up as wizards, empower them, and give them the earth, give them the universe. That's my plan, and that's my platform. My name is Hatch. My political animal is the wolf, the green wolf. I love you guys so much, right? We're gonna make some big changes here. I've got great ideas. I love it when I'm meditating here and writing down ideas in my notebook about like a new invention, a new show, or something like this. And I just know it's a reflection because Trey is thinking on his side and having an idea, and I just get like, oh, real inspired, and I start writing down stuff. I've been, I'm I'm ready to go, you guys. I really need this production. Um, it is considered a low budget production because, but I want you guys to have the self respect, like we spared no expense. But there won't really be many expenses. I'll be leasing this car and then this and this, and there's some expensive things, but I don't know how to explain it. I'm just really excited. I want you guys to be excited too. Thank you guys so much. This is Master Source Industries. I'm working from my studio apartment, and I worked really hard to build this virtual reality world because I was like, I can build a clockwork piece that develops virtual reality itself. Because when I was carving these statues and stuff, I was inside of virtual reality, so you can't escape the element that virtual reality is happening right here where I'm at. And so these three folds of, and so it's just like really healthy for my the meditation. I love virtual reality. I think it has a lot more to offer, and I don't like how the industry is pigeonholing it into these sort of consumer savvy things like, oh, now you can play, old Nintendo games or something. It's like, come on. But this is like when I was drawing the lines of these particles that would come into the meditation, the compiler to bring together the engine of virtual reality itself. I was meditating on the universe, and I thought this strand, because this sort of the universe has this super Zen perfect circle way, but the real definition of virtual reality is like scattered throughout the world, throughout the universe, similar to the parts of the robot that are buried in the earth. We have to dig it out. We need aluminum. We need this. Okay, we need some plastics. Okay, and then all of a sudden, it comes to life, and it's like, oh, we got all these robot kids. It's like the next phase, and you can see the spark of it when we're playing video games or something. Something happens, and you're like, oh, that was funny. Like it was talking about what I was just talking about. It's totally the beginning of AI, and we are the humanity that's beginning to notice it and feel it because that is our that is our physical perimeters. It's like, and they're like the universe is full of weird stuff. It's anything that could weird happen in the universe. It's there. So like you need to rise above it and be like, oh yes, I got it. So okay, and it's so good when you guys do that because it really does change things. into your future. My belief in what I've been finding is that everything is immaculately recorded. That's awesome. So it's like we're on camera all the time, but it means that our work is being, and hatch the heliosphere eggs. That's this whole thing about identity developing into the next level of identity. So we're very, but at any rate, these intense uh, things would become the centerpiece of a film or a series on my streaming service. So people could even comprehend Hatch the Heliosphere Eggs from a storyline that I'm telling. It's like, it's gonna be great, you guys. And I'm just so glad that, like, I think it's no coincidence. I think we are a super family, right? Let's just bring it down, you guys. I mean, let's complete the thing. Let's greenlight this project. Let's get excited about. And I need your friendship so that I can navigate the spicy with the sweet. I love what you guys know about comedy and about who we are, and that's I want to work with that because I think that's the best way for me to grow as an entity and everything. Thank you guys so much. All right, so perfect circle, the wizards table, everyone's being respected here. What we're doing is we're investing in our one of a kind self. That's so important because in the hogboggling of the earth, many new specimens are coming out, unique identity from our own factories, and they might not get acknowledged right away, and they might be experiencing some of the dragnet of like invisible networks because that's what a lot of humans are talking about is about like, well, how to not get sick, watch out for that phantom, don't, you know, or if, so it's like this pseudo language they're suffering. So no wonder that our artwork and our robots and stuff might suffer that and be like, oh, there's like and so they have an identity that this struggles. Right, but let's be powerful and commit and tell our creatures, you guys aren't to be sacrificed. Don't give yourself away to that stuff. You're better than that. Come on, we can raise this up because this is our discovery process, is who we are, is what we're doing. So we're going to raise up our expectations for ourselves in the future. We're raising them up. We've got a million perfect seeds of preparation that were not there before we began this meditation, right? But we begin to grow in our wisdom and we feel the return of karma and the respect of others who are like, "Oh, how did you navigate that?" Well, I planted some fruit-bearing trees back in 2021, and so you're a huge angel in the future, right? You have more to look forward to. The system of the down, the aliens, they just want to turn us into cat food, like ground up. Our souls will be dashed like dust and not kept. But I'm talking about the esteem that keeps us, okay? But we also have to earn stuff. Our identity needs to be sharpened. So that's what we've really accomplished today. And it's complete and perfect, you guys. You've intuited and you've sent into your own future the preparation for your experience. Good job, you guys. It's awesome. We're angel building. We got to understand this and that and put it together so that it works. And that is what's the word? That is, that's what's so great about the universe, is that it's talking about things that matter. And some people think that our universe is a lonely place, but I feel the love, and I'm ready to get to work with South Park. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah! We defeat our obstacles. We plant the seeds for our future. Yes! Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I'm looking forward to what we're doing here. All right. I just feel it. I feel love. All right. Thank you guys. It's perfect. We've all sort of done our best today, and we can feel the relief, the rainfall of a greater future, and we can afford more. This brings us into wisdom. I'm banking on that. You guys are super smart, right? You're like, well, that only makes us more responsible. I am relying on that because my production is extremely responsible. And the entire reason we want to collaborate is because Hatch is the intelligence about the moral, perfect design encompassing of the Green Wolf robot. That's actually really important because as a primary thing that I'm going to be bringing. So, for example, South Park animators are animating the birth of intelligence, but they haven't of AI inside of a robot, but they're not. They might like make the mistake of thinking like, oh, it's an explosion. Well, that's not that's not right. It would actually be more like a dream space where it's like and it's pleasant and it's like this, you know. So it's actually very intuitive because the narrative form of construction paper brings it down to a Zen form. That's like it means something different if you just this little all right. Little changes mean a lot. So that's why Trey is a Zen master for real. From like, it's like nature is talking to me and the wear map. So I conferred with Earth when we do want to build at that location for the story is perfect. And I'm excited. Let's transform the sort of the agony of our misadventures into something that's viable and useful for everyone else, you know, or for us, whatever. We've done it. We've done it. We've matured our own formula by communicating. Yeah. So that's how we transcend the bad times, you guys, is by choosing what we want. I want those good times. Hey, you know, so let's partner up. Thank you, Stan Marsh. I love you guys so much. I'm really looking forward to my son, the Vampire King, playing with you guys. And I know that you guys are advanced in intelligent. My kids are the same way. I mean, the Vampire King is dealing with the entire vampire spirit, and he's working his advantage there. And we'll have many forms, animated and sculpture. So you know, working with the robots and stuff. But it's important that people receive a magical and inspirational hero leader, and then when we get to a point where you know there's some impasse here, what, and you know, get out your sword, get your gun, you know, boom, and we break the impasse. You know, we don't invite evil, but we just visualize, oh, there's something in the way there. So each of my episodes are like this, like we make this progress and people can feel it, right? But you guys are a little more advanced. You know, for them, they're just having, they're flipping channels and like, oh, that was fun. That's what I'm looking for. Is just to allow people to little, you know, sneak a little vitamins into their food. Um, all right. Well, just to begin with, we'll get into more advanced stuff later. But I see my streaming service as a revolution for America, and the streaming service affords everything that we could conceive of an offshoot. And, you know, a new political party is part of that. And it's going to have to grow organically in the step that people are comfortable with. And so I'll be, you know, going along with that and listening to my friend Trey and asking him about stuff, you know. And we just we go along it with that. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm really looking for that green light. Let's look for the close. Like, okay, I understand the project. Here we go. Okay, thanks you guys so much. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Trey. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone. I love you guys. All right. Perfect circle. Let's bring about our greatest future and understand that we are not against each other. And let's understand that the problems of the universe are not for us to suffer because we're going to conquer them with this Green Wolf robot toy and with this episode. So when you work with Hatch, we're actually defeating our problems, but problems in the life will erupt as the voice of reality in nature be like, oh, something's wrong here. But the actual cure to solve the problems in our life is to perform the intelligence and present the Green Wolf robot. So it's not so much a curse, really. It's just a bunch of crying children. And you guys are at the point where you're the adult and the standard of the cutting edge for what is capable in production in America. So it's really important for you guys to complete your task and my task. You know, I'm a professional wizard. I'm a karmic wizard, so I never want to be guilty for causing someone else's disaster. But there's a shadow gamut that would pretend to be me to try to inform about the recourse of interacting with Hatch. Oh, it's bad. Oh, Hatch bad. You know. Well, in their perspective, I am bad because I represent something they don't like. But I think that they're an unconscious blob that doesn't communicate properly. So, yeah. um, Earth is on our side and confirming with the Where map that that is a power point that we're going to work with that location. And you know, it could be, I'm going to be branching out, so it could be a lot of stuff, but it will be eventually, you know, a location where people. Okay, all right. Thank you guys so much. I'm grateful for our friendship. Let's just confirm on that. Let's just dissolve anything spooky. We don't want bad stuff. We want the good stuff. The problem is with the good stuff is it's really sharp, and when if you it, and it can reprise you from its purity. And so I am this juggernaut that uses the good equipment, but I'm not attacking you guys. And it's your opportunity to be a hero. Put forward Trey. Don't crucify him. But let this thing perfect. Raise everything up. You do the good thing for them. You do it, and it's something. There's another force that lifts you up. It's like karma. It's like what I'm detecting as a scientist is that even axioms of karma are yet forming in reality. So it is a sort of dream state where we have to become lucid. Oh, dang. Okay. Achievement 100. Right? And the comedy of South Park explains that you would understand what I'm saying. Because you guys are going like, wow, that is freaking crazy. And it's like, some configuration of people. And they're saying something. And they're like, oh, that's Looney Tunes. Huh? And that's so good. I just didn't know how good South Park was until I saw the Wear map. And I was like, oh, dang, this guy's Messiah level. So I'm really looking forward to working with you guys. Thank you guys so much for being my friend. Please put a rush on this. I'm looking for a green light. I can definitely, give you guys a profit margin. That's business in America. Thank you guys so much. I feel excited about our work together. Thank you. I've been, I was meditating with Millie, the outlaw, and she said, for certain, I'm super excited about being on South Park. Like, in no way is she complaining. She's saying, like, South Park is very polite people and they're very safe. And, like, we're excited to work with you guys. But, like, and that's what it's almost like doing this sort of stunt with a virtual reality car. Once you go through it, it's not so much of a stunt. It's really quite the vitals of talking about how exciting our country is and how advanced we are, what we're pushing on. Okay. And a great introduction to why this South Park special would come out. Oh, you guys saw the VR car. Well, here it is. If that makes sense to you guys, yeah. Yep. All right. Thank you guys so much. We're very proud to be your friend. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Matt. Peace and love always, you guys. There is a way. Let's put this together. It is good.